Welcome everyone to the Transformational Storytellers show. It's a beautiful day and it's an amazing day because I have an amazing guest. What do you know? So, today I want to introduce you to you would maybe want to say Mirella, but her name is Mireya. She's a best-selling author and certified life coach. She's been a women's ministry leader, speaker, and Bible teacher for over 10 years. And she's been helping women grow in faith and what she calls God confidence. And we'll be talking about that in a little bit, but she is also known online as the life coach mom. So you want to make sure that you write that down so you can follow her later. And her information is definitely going to be in the show notes. And Mireya supports Christian moms on their emotional journey through motherhood. So, Mireya, welcome.
Thank you so much, Elina. And thank you for, the tutorial on my name. Yes, it is pronounced Mireya, but I do go by Mirella as well. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, I correct everyone about mine. It is Elina, like a lioness.
I love it. We got to own the name, right?
Absolutely. So let's start because this is a transformational storytelling show. Let's start with your transformational story. Tell us about that.
hmm Yes, a wonderful opportunity to share my story in the book and also here with your audience as well. So my story in The Gifts of Pain is titled From Emotional Mom to Spirit-Led Mom. So that right there tells you I was a mom and I still consider myself a mom with many, many emotions. And the story I share is one where I am brutally honest with my state of mind at the time as I was caretaking my mom or caregiving my mom. And honestly, I hated myself for how I was feeling at the time in that role. I was caring for her. It was very difficult. And I didn't want to do it anymore. And my mom, just to give you a little bit of background, she's a single mom, an immigrant from Mexico with a sixth grade education. She didn't speak English. She raised me by herself. I never met my dad. So that's a little bit about her. And then fast forward, then I grew up, I got married, became a mom myself. And as a new mom, I wanted my mom's help. I wanted her to be there for me, but instead there was a role reversal. I was helping her. I had become her caregiver, and she had a whole lot of health issues from diabetes, high blood pressure. She had breast cancer that metastasized into her bones. She had Parkinson's disease. It was a lot for her and a lot for me. I was very overwhelmed, and I'm trying to juggle my family's needs with her needs. And I just felt guilty all the time and selfish. I just wanted time for myself, and somebody was always needing me. And that was really hard to process in the moment. And then fast forward, my mom passed away. And then there was a whole other wave of emotions that come with that, with losing the person that you love. And so I was grieving. I felt lonely. I felt um, just isolated going through that, having two young kids, this young family. And so I turned to parenting books and they were somewhat helpful. I mean, they did help me a little bit, but they didn't dive into the big issues that I was facing at the time. They didn't talk about what I call mom emotions, right? The reality of the struggle of all the emotions that we feel as a mom. And so one day I asked myself just this simple question that changed really the trajectory of my life. And it was, how did the Bible moms do it? I just wondered, how did they do it? Am I the only one? And my mind just went there. Has it always been this hard? And so as I read their stories, I saw myself in many of their stories.
Mm.
I saw the overwhelming circumstances that they were in, and I saw that they too must have experienced the same things, the mom guilt, the overwhelm, the worry, the control. the tendencies that we have to control, the impatience. I'm sure they dealt with it all. And I am convinced that motherhood is motherhood, no matter when or where you live. So that's what God helped me see, that my emotions are really the most honest part about me, and I shouldn't hide from them. Neither should any mom or any person. Don't shame yourself, but just give yourself a whole lot of grace and
Wow.
judge yourself a whole lot less for them. So that's it. That's what God taught me. And the motto that I share a lot is how He taught me how to be real with how I feel so I could heal. And that's, I think, just really the message for everybody. So yeah, that's the story. And now I'm a life coach. I'm a mom of two, and I help other moms through their emotional journeys in motherhood.
Wow. Wow. What a journey. And I just love every bit of what you shared because I can relate to a lot of it. You know, I can relate to your
Mhm.
mom in some ways. I can relate to you in some ways. I can definitely relate to the women in the Bible.
Mhm.
And it's just so, so precious and such a gift that you share that. So it,
Mhm.
in such an honest way. I love
Yeah.
that you said that your emotions are the most honest thing about yourself, but we lie about them, don't we?
All the time. Yeah. I think there's sort of this expectation or maybe pressure that we put on ourselves to look like we always have it together, and that this comes naturally and easily when it doesn't for many of us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that feeling of I'm not alone, somebody has felt this way before.
Yes.
So crucial for us to
Yeah.
have feeling too.
Exactly. It's so freeing to
Yeah.
connect with another mom's journey. It may not be identical, but there's just sort of this release of, oh, you too? And it just normalizes. Like, I just feel like, oh my gosh, I've shed this pretense that you too. And then you too as well, right? Then you start just seeing, right, the emotional, the humanity in all of us.
Oh, I love that. And because you shared your story so beautifully, and I know and I felt the emotion that you felt. I know that sharing our stories isn't easy, which is why we believe this fallacy that everyone's got it together. So, can you tell our audience a little bit about why you think it's important to that we share our stories and how do we do that when it's like you said, there's so much shame and there's so much judgment about how we feel and about those raw emotions of motherhood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely think it's really one of the most important things, and we have a responsibility to share our stories because they're unique, they're ours, and they help other people. It helps us all feel less alone. And as I was thinking of how many people there are on the planet, there's like 8 billion people on the planet, yet somehow we feel like we are alone in our unique journey in place, especially in this place of emotions, because I just have found in my own personal experience, we don't talk about it a whole lot. And we're not as honest that I feel like we really should be. Like, we don't need any more images of perfection. We need really connection at a deep, raw, honest level. And if you've been a mom, I know not everybody in your audience is a mom, but either motherhood or just life in general, it can feel very overwhelming. And we're feeling things throughout the day, all day long, and in different times with different intensities. And so when we hear somebody else's story, it's just so validating to our human experience. And like I said, it's just a way of connecting and acknowledging, like, oh, you feel that way too. So it provides really a space of connection and safety. So
Mm.
you don't feel like you're the only one. And honestly, just our stories too, I think they're just so encouraging and inspiring to other people. And we all need encouragement. I often say, like, okay, who needs encouragement? If you're alive and breathing, you need encouragement. I need encouragement. And our stories are really, can really do that for other people. uplift other people because it gives people an opportunity to see that also themselves in your story and helps the storyteller process also our emotions, helps the person who's listening also be able to process. And so it gives just permission for other people to also be honest with their experience and creating connection. And I really have to thank you also just for the way that you have outlined and coached me along the way and how to tell a powerful story that it's not just about me and the perfect words, but it's really shifting my focus from my story to the person who's listening, to the audience, even that one person, and allowing for that a connection, for my story to connect with that one person and with the audience to really to make impact. So you've helped me really do that. Just make it short, concise, powerful. And ultimately, our story is to serve other people. And I love that perspective. I love how you've helped me really see that. This is my service. This is my gift to other people. So not to experience or feel have shame around some of the things that I felt and the things that I share that are really, really honest. But there's definitely a breakthrough when that happens, when we're willing to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, so many beautiful nuggets that you shared. I think that this is one that everyone has to have on replay all the time.
Yeah.
While we're doing dishes, while you're doing laundry, like just have Mireja's voice in the background. Because I think that everything that you share there, like I want to highlight the responsibility that we have to share, but also the breakthrough that we experience and how we process. And yes, absolutely. My belief is that our story serves others, that our experience is for ourselves and our own personal growth, but our story is for others and their evolution. And I love how you shared the 8 billion to 1. Those are impossible odds. And we do feel like that. I have felt like that so many times. I am the only one who's experiencing this. So I really think that's a powerful visual for us to tap into. So if our story helps someone, just believe that there's just another one, two, 8 billion to 2.
Yes. I love that. Yes.
Yeah, then that is a story that has served its purpose. I love that, and how beautiful it is to practice that. I call it an alchemy of pain, to transform this horrible or maybe just uncomfortable thing that you're experiencing and transforming it and transmuting it into a gift, which is what the gifts of pain is all about. But I want to continue on because we have
Yes.
limited time, and I
Okay.
want to make sure that you tell our audience a bit about the work that you do with mom emotions. And we kind of teased about God confidence. So I want to make sure that we talk about that too. And, what is it that you do and what are the resources that you have for others, especially for moms? And also, what is it that lights you up about that work that you do?
Mm. Yes. So I like to say I'm a certified life coach and a mom because those things are true. And I've mashed them together and I've become the life coach mom. Those are the two hats that I wear, the two perspectives that I bring. The mind of a coach and the heart of a mom is how I describe myself. And so what I do, what I love doing is helping other moms on their emotional journey in motherhood because as we know it's real, right? If you're a mom for more than 10 minutes, like our emotions are really intense and they're real. And so I help moms be able to stay calm and feel confident in themselves and motherhood and also stay connected to the kids in healthy ways and teach them with my faith-based approach how not to let our emotions really take the lead and control us because they can sometimes they can dominate our words and our behavior. And so I help women process their emotions in healthy ways with it. There's no guilt and there's shame. Like we remove all of that And I just help them normalize it, validate it, that yes, motherhood and life in general really is hard, but I really want to empower moms to be able to show up in the best as the best version of themselves, to be really the gift to their family that they are, and really ultimately, I want them to experience peace and confidence
Mm.
as a mom, and so my work revolves around that. And I love seeing, yeah, the light bulb moments come on when I am coaching moms, talking when mom with moms, and when I help them realize that you are not failing as a mom, you're simply feeling as a mom. Because we're human beings, we're not robot beings. Our kids weren't given robot moms. They're given human moms. And so we feel things intensely and deeply all the time at different levels in every stage of development. And that's okay. It's okay to feel it all. And I think it's important to feel it all because all of it is signaling something and we're learning about ourselves if we're open to it, if we're open to the messages that they're giving us. And if we take the time to go a little bit deeper and reflect on why is it that I'm feeling what I'm feeling and what's really going on. And a lot of times, honestly, our emotional reactions are appropriate. They're appropriate. And so long as they're proportionate to the event, to the circumstance, then there's nothing to fix there. It's normal. So it's now a matter of learning how to not judge ourselves, but to learn ways to express our emotions, process our emotions in healthy ways so we're not taking it out on our kids and our families. So that's what I do. I help moms just feel unstuck, get out of the mom guilt and the shaming themselves, and be honest with how they're feeling, naming their emotions, knowing motherhood is really an emotional journey. One of the things I share is how motherhood is one third emotional, as we know. It's one third experimental, right? Like there's no cookie cutter way to raise children. There is no magical formula, perfect manual. No, our kids got imperfect moms, and that's okay. And so we're experimenting as we go. We're also experiencing life as we go. And we're also emotional beings. So we're one third of all of those things. And really, it's a part of the transformative journey is realizing, oh, I'm not meant to be perfect at this. I'm meant to grow and learn and transform, and our kids help us do that. So they're a great asset to us. I think they bring out, if I can be honest with you, the best in us, but also the worst in us as well. But it's in the worst case, right? Those I'm using quotations because it's not the worst. It's part of our humanity that needs to grow. That's the honesty. Yes. We're not
Oh,
failing, we're just feeling. Yeah.
I love that. I'm glad you repeated that because that's definitely a quote that I want to highlight. We're not failing, we're feeling. And I think that's true not only for motherhood,
Ah,
it's true for everyone in
yes.
everything. I know that you're a speaker and that you also speak in corporate spaces and conferences, colleges, and really anywhere where you are welcome to speak, you will speak there. So I think that normalizing those feelings and removing the label of failure will
Mhm.
be really transformational for everyone, not only in motherhood, but in the workplace, but in, the school environment. So everywhere we need to definitely embrace this philosophy, Mireja's philosophy of you're not failing, you are feeling. That is just so powerful and such a reframe that I think is going to help liberate so many people in so many ways. So I definitely thank you
So,
for sharing that. And yeah, I love everything that you said. I don't want to repeat everything. It's like
mm,
all gold nuggets that we need to take to heart. And so why do you think it's essential for us to be honest with our emotions, not
mm,
only in motherhood, but in general? And why is that so timely right now?
mhm, mhm. So, last year, I love this question. Last year, the U.S. Surgeon General released an advisory about the mental health and well-being of parents in general. So not just moms, but parents in general, moms and dads. And the statistic that blew me away first, there's 63 million parents in the US alone. So this isn't global. This we're just talking about the United States. 63 million parents. 41% said that most days they're so stressed out they can't function.
Mhm.
And I believe that. Like I give that a moment to think about those stressors are real in our life. The degrees to which we worry about everything about our kids is real in every stage and age of their development. So the worry just transfers, right? Even from when they're little babies, right? We're learning how to just be a new mom and how to adapt and how to integrate family and work. If you work, you're sleep deprived, right? Those are challenges, those are stressors. And then they get older, they start going to school, and now we're helping them also manage their well-being, their physical well-being, their emotional well-being. There's so much influences. There's technology, like learning how to manage technology. So all those things are stressors for us. There are reasons why we worry. We have financial worry. There's just a lot of burdens and responsibilities that we carry from not just parenting, but life itself. So this is very timely that we talk about it. And we're constantly juggling so many things as moms in addition to looking around and comparing ourselves to the unrealistic standards and feeling guilty for not doing enough or being enough or looking the way the other people do. So I think that really adds to our emotional guilt because we look around and we think like everybody else has it together and it's just us, right? It goes back to that, 8 billion people on the planet and we just feel like we're the only ones feeling the way we do and it's not true. So I help give moms really the tools to help validate themselves in the moment, to know they're not the only one. And one of the phrases I used, one of the prompts is just to take a moment and to go, oh my gosh, just like me, other moms feel, right? Fill in the blank whether it's overwhelmed, scared, in pain, right? There's suffering that comes in motherhood. Like there's all these emotions. So helping them just be honest with them, emotions, naming them. The last thing we want to do is just shove them down because that just leads to a whole lot of shame, internal shame, and burnout. Ultimately, there's so much that we're feeling. And then we don't always want to react in the heat of the moment with whatever emotion that we're feeling too, because that leads to a whole lot of regret also. Like we feel bad for the things that come out of our mouth when we're in a rage or angry and impatient. And that's not a great way to connect with our kids either. So all of this is relevant because as we live out our lives as human beings, we're going to feel intensely. And so, how do we just validate our emotions and welcome them, but then also, right, learn to overcome them?
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, I love that. And I know that you shared a lot of this at the United Nations
I did. Yeah.
about the loneliness epidemic and also how that relates to all of us. And you've spoken also at Good Day LA, were interviewed there. Also shared your story in the Fem Power book. So you're doing a lot of things, but I also know that you have your book SOS for the
Mhm.
Mom, which I love that title. There are so many resources that we can look at from Mireya so that you can learn more about what she's saying if it's resonating with you. And I know it is because these are human emotions that we all feel. So I think that we're gonna leave the audience with that call to action. I really love it. Can you repeat what is it that we say? Uh, just like me. Walk us through that again.
Yes, that's like really my invitation to everybody in the moment, in the heat of a moment, whenever like an emotion is surfacing, is to take a breath, put your hand on her heart. You can close your eyes, and just like me, there are moms all over the world who are feeling fill in the blank. Is it restless? Is it loneliness? Is it overwhelm? Is it worry? fill in the blank, and it gives you an opportunity to connect to our humanity, to other moms in real time, but also for all time. Moms from our past, maybe our own mom or moms from the Bible who also experienced emotions. We get to connect to moms in the present day, right? The moms that in your circle that you know, connect with those emotions as well. I guarantee you they too are feeling or have felt those same things. And then we also get an opportunity to connect to really the emotions moving forward.
Mm.
Yeah, it's the through line for all of humanity. We are feelers, and it's
Yeah,
okay. Feelings are a gift.
absolutely. I always say that pain is the common thread of humanity, so we are really in sync with that.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Mireya. I felt that practice as you were guiding me through it, guiding us all through it. And I'm really encouraged by you, inspired, really grateful for the time that you shared with us. And everyone, please connect with Mireya with the information in the show notes. And we will see you next time in the Transformational Storytellers show. Bye.
Bye.
Oh my gosh. I love you.
I love you back. This